Welcome to the dorkidorkiRV. I'm Warmal.
I'm Kat.
And we have two guests with us today. We have our friends Lindsay and Jordan.
Hello.
Hi. I like how you had to wave. You're just like, hi.
They can't see you, you know.
That's fine.
Oh, we got noise happening now.
Fucking water pipes.
Yeah. We're recording from a new place. We're house sitting right now, so we're having a little fun having room.
And dogs.
Yeah. But anyway, so today we went and saw Star Trek Into Darkness. I personally have zero experience with anything except the first Star Trek movie. I realize Jordan here has a lot to rant about.
He's holding back. Look at his face. He's just like, oh.
So if anyone doesn't know the plot...
Are you reading it?
Yeah.
Oh, okay, cool.
After the crew of the Enterprise find an unstoppable force of terror from within their own organization, Captain Kirk leads a manhunt to a war zone world to capture a one-man weapon of mass destruction. That's not at all how I would have summed up this movie. I really don't even know how I would describe it.
Just go, Jordan. Just let it all out. Just free your soul.
I'd say that's a pretty good summary.
Really?
Yeah, it's pretty good. It's vague enough to leave an audience guessing.
I guess. Yeah, it does. I mean, the trailer didn't really show much other than explosions.
Running in the sea of red grass, is that what that was? And then jumping over a cliff.
That's all people want.
Yep.
Explosions.
So how would you classify this movie?
As far as genre, or definitely a sci-fi thriller.
You think?
Oh yeah, definitely. Heavy on action though.
Yeah, I was definitely thinking sci-fi action.
Mm-hmm.
I felt the sci-fi was really well done though, much more than the first movie did it. It felt a lot more like a space adventure.
Can I just say I should have watched the first movie again? Because I had to try and catch up in my brain what the fuck was going on.
I can agree to that.
I
That's
was
probably
like,
why.
shit!
Does anyone remember the first movie at all?
I remember a little bit.
I know Spock and Kirk became friends. The end.
That's what the whole
If
movie was
I
about.
think about it, I remember some scenes, like when the Asian dude is like a master of martial arts and jumps down and is using swords to fight.
That was cool.
And then, yeah,
That's it.
pretty much it.
That was it.
At this point, I'm not even entirely sure if I actually went and saw the first movie because I don't remember anything.
I think my mom bought it and was like, here, watch this. And I was like, I guess I'll watch it. And I really liked it. I don't remember shit.
Oh, I also remember Spock being in a little, cubicle in the floor for school as a child. I remember that.
He was picked on.
Oh.
Yeah, that's what I remember. So, obviously, the first movie left no lasting impression. How do you guys think this one fared?
I probably won't remember anything. And, give me a month.
I'll
remember shit.
probably remember a bit more of this one just because I was a bit more frustrated because I only had the original Star Trek movies to kind of compare it to. But other than that, I don't think it would have left much of an impression.
How do you think it fared compared to the originals?
Don't ask. Please.
Go for it. Let's hear it.
Well,
Because I don't have any
I feel that
frame of
between
reference.
the TV series and the movies and all the other Star Trek, I'm forgetting the word. Anyways, compared to all the Star Trek merchandise and movies and everything else that was originally laid out, I feel like the newer generation of Star Trek movies, done by J.J. Abrams, or however you pronounce his name, I feel like his interpretation could use a bit more backstory, but other than that, these ones are definitely geared towards a wider audience.
I understand that Star Trek does have this expanded universe around it and all the backstory that's been created over these decades. Knowing that, though, I have to keep in mind that these are just movies, that I can't get all of that information in 2 hours to develop these characters, when it's supposed to be more of an origin story, really.
I think you kind of have to keep in mind that this is a totally different time. People today, we have all this new technology, whereas back when Star Trek first started, it was totally different. It was horse and buggy almost.
I don't know if it was that bad.
Well,
Do you-
I don't know, my grandma. Yeah, grandma, her horse and buggy on the farm, just trotting along.
Knowing, though, how big Star Trek has become, if this was the start of Star Trek, like, if it never happened before, if this was it...
If there was nothing before and this was it would blow my mind. Like, it's so good in that sense.
Do you think it would get such a huge following as the original series did? Because I know the original series did really well, like, immediately.
Yeah. I don't know. This one, I kind of feel like it's a money grabber. They want to attract a wider audience to the Star Trek series and get more people liking it rather than Star Trek being a bit more of a cult following, almost literally.
Is Star Trek even still going on? Like the TV show?
No. I'm
I don't
pretty
think
sure
so.
that they haven't done a new TV show for Star Trek in probably almost 10 years, if
Yeah.
not longer.
Don't they have just a lot of reruns on?
Oh, yeah.
Probably
Yeah.
something like that.
Where'd you pull that phone from? That was like magic.
On my sleeve. That's where I keep my phone.
That completely destroyed my question. I have no idea what I was about to ask.
Interesting.
Good job, Lindsay.
Yeah, I lost it.
You're welcome.
How do you guys think the acting was in the movie?
Scotty! Good.
I like the acting in it.
Oh, Lindsay.
I almost want to say that these actors kind of suited the roles almost better than the original ones. Almost. I don't want to piss off any Trekkies, but...
That's probably because they were
Like-
able to look at the characters and then find an actor that works for it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
The characters are already developed. You can find people that are going to fit the roles
And
better
look
than
like
just
them.
kind of hit and miss.
I do feel like some of the acting felt a little forced at times. Not from any of the main cast, but like the supporting characters and that just felt a little...
Off.
Yeah.
There was one scene near the beginning of the movie where, I forget his name already, but Captain Kirk is in an emotional moment and it looks like he's really trying to force the face. Like the sad, emotionally destroyed face.
When Pike is giving him shit for being himself.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
I think that was the scene, yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
I kind of felt like he was struggling to identify with the character.
Did you feel like he was going to jump up and be like, yay, and run out the door?
Not quite that bad, but pretty close.
Yeah. Coming from like a... I wouldn't say photography standpoint, but like cinematography and that, how they shot the movie, I definitely felt like they used a lot more of... I don't know how to put it.
I don't know.
They used a lot of close-up on all acting, like on all the main characters. They made sure you're looking directly at this person. They didn't do very well on doing wide angle, and I'm not sure if that was more along the lines of being able to keep budget to the sci-fi-ness in the scenes where they needed it, or if they just were lazy and just wanted to zoom in.
I
They did
think
that a lot.
it might have been like because the special effects were so flashy and they were all very well done, like to have the wider angle scenes would have been, I'd imagine it would have taken them a bit longer to do those scenes, and probably time restraints would be my guess.
Yeah. Because I keep thinking back to Star Wars Episode 3 during the fight between Mace Windu and the Emperor. They said they solely focused on like close-up angles of the faces to see like the character development in the scene near Mace Windu's death and the Emperor turning and revealing himself. But I feel like in this one it was more along the lines of let's show their emotion and that this is the character you're supposed to care about. I never did feel like we weren't in the future though.
Oh yeah.
There weren't any issues with that. It definitely felt...
As far as timeline went, they did it really, really well. Like, you felt like you were hundreds of years into the future.
That's true.
And London's architecture just helps with that. They have so many buildings already that just look futuristic.
I liked it how they kept some of the older buildings there still, too,
Yeah.
though, which was nice.
The first movie did play a lot on Earth, didn't it?
Yeah, I think it started out on Earth, definitely.
Yeah,
I really
didn't
can't
it?
remember.
Didn't it? Because they had to first, like, recruit Kirk?
Yeah, they
Yeah.
first recruited
Yeah.
Kirk.
And I felt like that one we didn't see a lot of the futuristic aspects of the world. It definitely seemed more like we're in the boonies of the future, which is weird to think about. Because all the other boonies of the future still have like layer upon layer of apartments, and it's just run down.
Yeah.
It's gotten very quiet.
What else did you guys think? Lindsay, you haven't talked much. What did you think?
Make Lindsay talk!
I liked the movie. It was really good. I thought there was a lot of, like, sort of like useless running scenes, though. There was like this one part where there was like 5 minutes just like Spock running and then like Kirk running.
Yes.
It definitely, it's weird seeing people run out
Yeah.
of context. When they focus solely on people running and everything zooming by, the way the human body runs is the weirdest thing to look at.
Yeah,
Can we
not
just
gonna lie.
Can we agree that Scotty's running down the long fucking hallway was the best moment
That
ever?
was, yeah, that was a good running scene.
That was good because they like zoomed out and you're just watching him go, and it's like, wow, they're really gonna make us watch him run this whole way, aren't they? This is great. They're not at all just gonna shorten this.
Do you think he was either thinking, like, I didn't sign up for this. I just wanted to be in the engine room. I just wanted to control the power. I didn't mean to run.
I like to think that that means that Simon Pegg actually had to run that way at his that distance at his age, no stunt at all. They're like, okay, you can do this. Run.
Pretty much.
Oh, one thing that gets me is costume design. While the costumes in that, thinking back to how they looked in the series from pictures I saw, I definitely like the old look better. Now they kind of look like they really show thread in the shirts, and the colors seem kind of faded. It's kind of weird.
Really? I
Yeah.
thought that the threading of the uniforms just kind of emphasized, like, you know,
The material.
this
kind of
is a time where we have high definition video. They got to show it off somehow.
I guess. Don't show that off in, the special effects or space.
No.
Space!
thing. I
No,
like-
the yellow looks very faded.
Yeah, I was just gonna say, I was like, I don't like the yellow. All the other colors, I don't really give a fuck.
I actually don't know what the colors mean.
I have no idea.
I
either.
have no idea. They should just put up a definition at the beginning, like red means this, blue means this.
I know the colors mean something though.
Yeah, it means their positions. Like, because remember at one point they were like, you have to change this shirt to that shirt because now you're going to be doing this.
But then Captain Kirk was like in the yellow shirt, and
Yeah.
he told the one guy to get out of the yellow shirt.
I don't know what that means. Did he get demoted?
I don't know.
Yeah, like, I would imagine that it would be blue, yellow, then red. But why is
yellow
it that the
seems-
captain wears a yellow shirt if he's the highest ranking person
A
on
lot
the
of the-
ship?
Almost everyone on the deck wore yellow.
Yeah.
So does that mean that's your position though? Like
It might
in
be
the
in-
ship itself, like you're in the
Because a
cockpit
lot of
thingy?
people in the engine had red.
But
Yeah.
then didn't Yuhara, or however you say her name, have red as well, and she's on the...
I
Maybe
think so,
she
yes.
is connected somehow to, I don't know.
Red equals command, gold equals operations, blue equals sciences. There.
Interesting.
Okay.
That clears that up.
So red basically means expendable.
That's the
Ooh.
Command.
I wonder if they were
No,
like
is it yellow command? Or gold?
Gold is operations, includes security and tactical.
Okay.
I kind
The
of wonder if like they were just like, here, wear this yellow or blue one to her, and she was like, and
Maybe.
she was like, I want the red one.
Well, maybe Kirk just gets to choose his color.
What color did
Feels like
Spock
it.
wear?
Blue.
Was it blue?
Yep.
It looked
He's always
gray.
in blue. Well, he switches Spock.
Yeah.
He can do whatever the hell he wants. He's
Maybe,
Spock.
like, that's the thing, is, like, thinking back, like, I can remember from images, obviously, since I never watched, I can remember solely what everyone wore, because they were very bright, and definitely you could tell what color these people were wearing. In this one, though, it just seemed grayed out.
Didn't the captain in the old ones used to wear red? If I'm remembering that right.
I believe Picard wore red, but I'm thinking Kirk was wearing yellow still.
Who was
It looks
first?
good in yellow.
Picard or Kirk?
Kirk was, well,
Because
I don't know if...
Picard died in the first movie, didn't he?
I really can't remember at all. I believe that Picard was in The Next Generation, meaning that he was technically second as far as development goes. I don't know the timeline very well, though, so... That's my 2 cents.
Well, no, that works. We need a Star Trek expert. If only we knew someone like that could come here.
Is everyone else thinking who I'm thinking?
Yeah, I'm okay without it.
I'm not.
What?
I don't know who you guys are thinking of.
Oh, okay.
Fuck you.
Bless you.
Thank you.
Yeah, so there's that.
Yeah.
Did anyone notice any music
But
in the
Other
movie?
than the theme that they used in the trailer, not really.
No. There was just a lot
of,
of explosions and talking, right?
There was a lot of ambient sound behind, like, where they were talking and stuff. Like, you could hear, like, when they were in the engine room, you could hear almost a whirring sound in the background, but there wasn't really a lot of music, so to speak.
Would a nuclear engine have a whirring sound?
Probably not. But it was still there, and that is what counts.
that's right.
So, I never understood where anything was on that ship.
Yeah,
I knew there was from what I got, there was a security spot, a medical spot, a place for the deck, a hallway with a giant tube in the middle
Oh yes.
that people could fall down, and the engine room.
Yep.
I don't know where any of that correlates with each other at all.
Nope.
What was where they kept the missiles and stuff, like in the bottom area?
That was a launch thing, and that was actually located on the lowermost part of the ship. Other than that, in the bridge, I have no idea where anything is.
We just know what it looks like now.
Yep,
Yes.
we know what the inside looks like of them. And the outside of the ship.
Oh, there was a couple hallways, but we didn't really see how those connected.
Yeah.
With all the running, you'd think we would have noticed.
You'd think so, but...
There actually wasn't a whole lot of running. We're just pointing that out because it's hilarious.
Okay, but the running we did see was freaking, like, crazy.
There was a lot of running.
I still think there may have possibly been more running than walking in The Hobbit. They probably cleared more mileage in Star Trek than in The Hobbit. Just keep that in
Considering
mind.
how big the ship is, maybe.
Yeah. And plus, those guys, the people on the ship are a lot taller than hobbits. They can
Well,
walk.
And the
Greater
hobbits and
distances.
dwarves got a huge checkpoint from that eagle. Like
Yeah.
it just carried them a long way.
That's practically cheating.
I can't wait to see how they justified not taking them all the way to the mountain in the next movie. But that'll be great. It's like, yes, your destination's over there. Could you take us there? You flew us here. We found out our guy's okay. Take us the rest of the way.
Yeah.
I don't know. I can't really remember the book that well. Apparently, the total duration of watching the 3 movies is longer than the book, so they probably have some kind of filler between them. But as far as the book goes, I'm pretty sure that the Eagles took them fairly close to it, especially considering what the name of the second movie will be called.
I don't know what it is.
I
I know the filming
something
of the 3...
about smog. It
love
mentions the
Smog.
dragon's name in the
I know
title.
the
Smog
3
is so
movies
cute.
filming time was the exact same as the original trilogy, which is pretty cool. The
Wow.
exact same number of days. And apparently people in New Zealand don't know about The Hobbit or Lord of the Rings.
It's gonna be the Hobbit, the Desolation of Smog.
Yeah. And then the last one's going to be called The Journey Home, so probably looking forward to a lot of walking in the third one.
All I know from Lord of the Rings, The Hobbit, and playing Lord of the Rings War in the North, they really need to make more use of flying. Because
Yeah,
they
they
always
probably
fly,
should.
but never all the way.
That would just be rude.
Don't in the game we have that eagle thing? It just won't carry us anywhere.
Yeah, it'll attack everything, and it's great, but otherwise...
You can call it any time pretty much, but the one thing is like, oh, well, I can't carry you guys,
We
sorry.
really need to finish that game, Lindsay.
So do we
Which
restarted.
game?
War in the North.
Oh yes, we do.
So, at the end of the first movie, did you guys know there was going to be another movie for Star Trek? Or did you think that was it?
I thought there was going to be another movie. That earned them a lot of money right there.
You know, I think that I don't remember the first movie again, but I do know that if they hadn't made a second one, it would have been very stupid of them.
Probably, but since it obviously isn't very memorable, did it really do anything?
Not really.
I don't know if they'll make another reboot of it. I definitely feel Star Trek is better suited to TV. Because that gives them a lot more to work with, even though it's a shorter time frame technically. I definitely feel that movies don't work as well, at least not in the way they're doing them now. Not saying it's a bad movie, I'm just saying franchise-wise, it'd probably be way better suited to...
TV?
Yeah.
But what if it started off being a movie? Do you think it would have done well as a TV series then, if it had initially started off as a movie?
I think Star Wars has proved that. I think it definitely shows if you start with something, that's where you need to continue. Because if they made a Star Wars TV show the way that Star Trek had a TV show, it probably wouldn't have gone as smoothly. Well, I guess they did try some TV shows and they're okay, but not really as good as the movies are.
Star Wars. Why?
I like Star Wars.
Why?
What are you talking about in general? Because I like it better than Star Trek, really.
I love Star Wars. I grew up with Star Wars over Star Trek. Any day you ask me, Star Wars is way better. It's just between all the legal crap that they're dealing with right now for Star Wars is just ridiculous.
Oh yeah, I'm still looking forward to 7.
The rumor right now, actually, it's a good thing we're bringing this up. The director of Star Trek might be handling Star Wars.
Yeah,
I
J.J.
heard
Abrams.
that,
Yeah, I know.
I don't know how that's gonna go. More explosions. Star Wars would do amazing with more special effects.
I think this shows that they can do a really well done sci-fi space movie. J.J. Abrams can handle it quite well. I feel with him holding it, and if they have a really good writer, that the new Star Wars movie will do probably a lot better than episodes 1, 2, and 3 did with George Lucas.
Yeah, probably. Most people really dislike 1, 2, and 3. Honestly, I believe it started out good. I love episode 1. It's probably, I don't want to say my favorite, but it's pretty close.
That'd be very controversial, considering it's a children's movie, and the one thing children love is politics.
Yay, politics!
You know, I always loved politics in kindergarten. Best fucking thing ever.
We went back and watched, I watched episode 1 when it came out in theaters, and boy, did I understand a lot more of it now.
Yeah, you think about it, Star Wars as a whole is meant for an older, it really depends.
The content is more for a teen to adult audience, but is geared towards children, which is weird. Especially considering the way the third movie went.
The third movie is friggin' dumb. Same with the... Well, wait. Which third? Third...
Episode 3.
Episode 3? Okay. I feel that episode 3 and episode 2, as a whole, are both pieces of crap. I think...
Understandable.
I think that the way that they did Anakin's transition to Darth Vader was good. I thought that part of it was very well handled. But...
it suffered because they had to go into detail on how Anakin became Darth Vader.
Yeah.
That was the sole purpose, and he wasn't able to write anything around it.
Honestly, when you think about it, though, the most memorable parts of episode 2 and 3 are, the transformation parts, when Anakin's mother died in the second one, and when he secretly married Padme.
I really want to know where that relationship would have went as he slowly aged. Or quickly aged compared to her. That would have been a great little series. That should be a spin-off. The What If Padme Didn't Die. But no, and the third movie definitely showed that they were doing very well with the action scenes in that movie. The fight scenes were really well done. They were greatly choreographed, especially considering the actors did it themselves. It was no stunt double.
Wow.
You didn't go and watch the behind-the-scenes stuff?
Not really.
Oh my god, that was them the entire time.
I have honestly never owned a copy of any of the Star Wars movies for myself.
Oh, jeez.
I really want to get the Blu-ray edition with all 6 of them, but
yeah, the actors for Obi-Wan and Anakin did all their own stunts for the most part, and the fighting scenes were all them. And that was heavily choreographed.
That's amazing.
And it was heavily blue screened. But that was just for the scenes around them. So since we're now talking about Star Wars, I think we've pretty much exhausted what we can about Star Trek for now.
I feel like it was just a way to get into Star Wars. Is like you start with Star Trek and then you slowly creep into Star Wars. It's
the
just
better
like,
one?
That's so terrible, though, because Star Trek does have a really rich history, but as far as we go,
Star Wars is
we're
more
kind of a
prominent.
bit late to the Star Trek party.
Yeah, and I don't like that it's become such a war between the two. They're very different, they have similarities, and they shouldn't really be compared to each other like that.
It's just because they're the two sci-fi giants. If someone were to find a movie or a TV series that was bigger sci-fi other than Stargate, then I would be shocked.
Yeah, I can't think of any.
Like,
Riddick?
seriously.
Not really.
I grew up with Star Wars, man.
I grew up with Pokemon.
I think we all grew up with Pokemon. And by golly, X and Y better be damn good.
It's gonna be good.
Yay.
You can move diagonal.
Game Freak doesn't make mistakes.
I think science has gone too far.
Have you seen some of the Pokemon fusions that have been going around the internet lately?
Yes.
Some of them are
So
amazing.
cool. Who is it that always looks good together? Skullbone and... No.
Skullbone?
Oh, I don't know. Yes,
Cubone,
there we go.
Cubone
Do we
looks
need to
good
disown
with
you
any
now?
Pokemon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I haven't gotten to play
Have you
Pokemon
seen
in a
the
while.
fusion for Cubone and Seadra?
Yes.
Oh, so
I came
cool.
across that one in my own. I'm like, I can't wait for someone to discover this and draw awesome fan art. And then someone did. But yeah. So ratings for the movie out of 10. Unless you want to do something out of 5, then I'll just correct you and make it out of 10.
I give it a 9.
I give it...
It's broken.
8.5 lightsabers.
What?
So 8 lightsabers and a Yoda lightsaber. Okay.
Maybe 4 double lightsabers and a single lightsaber.
Okay.
This is gonna go on
We're gonna
forever.
move on.
Guys.
That would be 9, but okay.
I'm gonna go with a 9.
A 9?
Yeah.
I'm going to be the lowest.
Oh, fuck.
I'm saying 8.
Why 8?
And now everyone's staring at me.
Yeah, I was under the impression that you liked this movie more than me.
Explain it. Explain your...
I don't
Okay.
understand.
No, it was an amazing movie. Well, I have seen better movies, but I'm not going to get into that. It was a really well done movie. I felt that with some of the things, like the fact that it's not geared as well as the movie kind of docks it a bit. The acting was great, except for some of the supporting. That doesn't really bother me too much. It's more about the spoilery stuff that kind of gets to me a bit, so I'll get into that in a bit. So aside from that, is everybody ready to go into a bit
Before we go into spoilers, everyone should see this movie.
Yes.
Everyone.
Yeah, it is a really good movie. I definitely say people should go to it.
Like, especially if you're new to the Star Trek stuff, go see it. It's amazing, especially if you're new.
Do you think watching this would make people go back and watch the original series?
No.
Because I feel like that is so old now that if you,
You know-
went from this to that, you would definitely feel a bit disheartened in like the effects and everything.
As far as effects go, don't go back and watch the originals if that's why you like this movie. But if you like the story of it, like if you want to know more kind of about how the original story parallels to this one, definitely go back and watch the original Star Trek movies, because I believe it's the 4th one, titled The Wrath of Khan, and it gives quite a bit more detail into the character of Khan.
Alright.
That's my opinion on
I
that.
felt that would have been more of a spoiler, but okay.
No, it's not a spoiler.
So now we are going to get into spoilers, so if anyone wants to back out now, you know what our thoughts are, and definitely go see it. We'll give you a couple seconds to turn off the video, or to exit, or to go back and watch one of our many other videos. There's not that many.
Jiminy.
Or you can just let us spoil the movie.
Yeah, I could do that. I'm sure there's some people that do. I know a lot of people actually go and look for spoilers before actually, like, watching anything.
I'm going to be very honest with you guys. Going back this afternoon and watching some of your previous reviews, I had not seen very many of the movies that you guys have reviewed except for Hansel and Gretel. So...
Oh, that was a horrible
Yeah, that one was
recording.
horrible. That
I
was when
didn't
we
watch
first
the
got this
recording.
one.
I didn't watch the recording because
Oh.
I believe we either went with you to see it or we
No,
went like
no.
just after.
We went with Marina,
Yeah, she...
or Baze.
Yeah, Baze.
I can't remember. Yeah, maybe.
Yeah, we went with another one of our friends, and then she joined us as our first guest.
And then that was when we
Woohoo,
first got
first
this
guest.
recording, and we hadn't realized that if it's not plugged in quite right, it won't read your voice. It'll just sound muffled.
Yeah, it'll
Oh.
sound horrible. So, and that movie was awful.
Oh God.
Yeah, don't go back and
You know
listen
what? I remember that. I remember checking the audio on that one, and it sounded really bad.
Yeah, it turns
Yeah.
out this light means it's plugged in. But the light will be on, and it'll record even if this cable isn't plugged in all the way.
Oh wow.
So
Yeah.
it'll record, but it doesn't sound good.
We
That's
even
a
had
pretty close
tested.
microphone.
Yeah.
I want to talk about spoilers.
Okay,
Okay,
we're at
talk
30
about
minutes.
fucking spoilers.
Okay, I felt I guess Khan wasn't a spoiler.
No, it's not technically a spoiler because knowing Khan is in the movie is not a spoiler. However, knowing the events that lead up to who is Khan is a spoiler.
Yeah, I didn't think he was Khan. I didn't know how Khan was coming in.
When I originally saw it, I didn't know Khan was in the movie. But after they said he was Khan, I just jaw dropped.
Yeah, so the reason I gave it kind of a lower, 2 points lower, come on. The big thing that got me was there was a lot of hype around the fact that Klingons were going to be in the movie. And
There was not that much
I
for
heard-
Klingons in it.
exactly,
There
and
was
that's
like,
the thing.
what, 5 minutes? Not either?
I'd say 8. 8
Not
Eight
even-
minutes.
minutes?
And even then, it was mostly a space fight.
Yeah,
So going in
fight.
thinking, I can't wait to see Klingons, find out what they look like, because I never did really see the original series ever. And that whole thing, I was really hyped. I'm like, yes, we're going to go to Kronos, we're going to see them, it's going to be great. And then there wasn't anything at all.
You know what? I think they could have done a lot more with that. But I do really like the new design for the Klingons. I think that it gives them more of a tribal look. Because originally, the way that their makeup was done, they didn't really have... You couldn't see a lot of their culture in the way they looked. But in this movie, how they did the decals on their, I want to call them head wrinkles, but that's not exactly what they are. But the way they had them decorated and such, it just looked a lot more like a very well-cultured society, and that's what Klingons are supposed to be.
Yeah. Yeah, so that's kind of my big issue, is the fact that I was going in all hyped about that, and then it kind of dropped really quickly, too. After they left, there was nothing about them. There was no retaliation. There wasn't, they found us, which was the big thing. We're stuck here, they're going to find us, and then they didn't.
Yeah.
So that's kind of what got me a lot.
You know what? On that point as well, they're probably going to be making a third one just to have more Klingons and kind of cover, there was a lot of allusions to, our actions during this movie are going to create a Klingon war with Earth.
Are they, though?
And
It didn't
I
seem
think-
like it. It
I
didn't seem
think-
like they knew.
Well, I
The
think
patrol
that
found them, and they killed the patrol.
the patrol's going to be found dead. I'm sure that the Klingons are a fairly intelligent race. They're going to be able to know who did this. I think that they're going to make a third movie that involves
Oh, no,
the
they totally
Klingon
are.
war with Earth.
I have to agree with Jordan there. Because it does feel like that's what they were leading up to. It's just here's a little sneak peek, and here's the real stuff that we're doing in this movie.
But I
Foreshadowing.
know that, yeah, it was a
Foreshadows.
really good foreshadow, though. I do know, though, that people were really bummed out that the Klingons weren't even in the first movie, and then that's why we brought it in this time. But they didn't really bring it in this time. They
Yeah.
kind of did, but then it was more all about Khan. I think it would have been better if this one was all about the Klingons and then alluded to Khan for another movie.
But there's more
I think
Star
that would've
Trek
been
than just,
too.
like, Klingons.
But for the movies that are kind of like rebooting the franchise, don't you think it should be more about the more popular things?
No.
I don't
It
even
should
know who the
definitely-
villain was in the movie, in the first one.
In the first movie?
Who was the villain?
I think his name may have been blah.
Oh, yeah.
That's about my most
Him.
intelligent guess.
Yeah, I have no idea. So I definitely felt that this one definitely could have been really cool if they brought in the Klingons and then Khan later.
I think that having Khan in this one created a more... I feel like he was more well-known, but again, I'm not a serious Trekkie. I have seen the original movies once or twice, but I know Khan did play a big part originally, so it's kind of cool to see
They had a
him
movie
in it.
called The Wrath of Khan.
Well, there you have it.
Your thoughts, Lindsay? On spoiler things? The end of the movie, maybe?
I am so mad they froze Khan.
Oh,
Why are
he'll
you
come back.
mad about that?
I think that they should have just kept him imprisoned. It would have had the same effect.
Well, it'd be
Except,
like-
you know, you would have known for sure if he was coming back or not. But
I think
Mystery
it's nice
is-
they froze him.
He's with his family.
Yeah.
That he thinks
Plus,
is dead.
If they put him in prison, he's probably just gonna get, like, let out. You know how well that works with all the other villains when they're put in glass prisons.
well,
Cough, Loki.
oh, what else was really big spoilers? I want juicy stuff.
One thing that disappointed me was when Spock was talking to himself.
I was
In the
actually
best
really,
way.
Spock.
I was really happy to see that again. I almost thought they weren't going to bring back Leonard Nimoy's Spock after the first one.
Yeah, I didn't think it was coming in. It would have been better if, because they kind of cut out when it's like, this is how we defeated Khan in our timeline. And I thought that was going to be like, then revealed during the movie, but it wasn't.
Yeah, it would have been nice to have, like, actually heard it. It would have made this movie a bit better, having that extra backstory.
It would have made the resolve of Spock going after him a lot more impactful, because like he knows what he's doing. He's going to go stop Khan. And then it became a big fist fight in running.
Do you realize
More running.
Nimoy's Spock is called Spock Prime? I was just looking, and I'm like, I feel like he should be a Transformer.
Spock Prime. Interesting.
Roll out.
I'm surprised they didn't do Primo. That sounds even worse. They could have done that. It at least wouldn't then allude to another huge franchise.
Yeah.
Do we have any Harry Potter references?
I
I saw some Metal Gear Solid stuff.
Yeah, like that total fist fight on top of the
You thought
big
that
metal
too?
things. I was like, holy crap,
Right-
this is totally the snake and liquid fight.
Right after Kirk is crawling through radioactive stuff,
I know!
I was thinking Metal Gear Solid 4 that whole time.
Like, friggin' Kirk goes in, climbs up into the machinery of the engine, and it's like, okay, well, is the radiation currently happening, or is
Yeah, I
that
didn't
something
know.
that happens afterwards? But either way, radiation, tight hallways, totally MGS4. Any Pokemon references, Lindsay?
Yeah, totally.
Yeah? Did they catch them all?
They caught them all.
They did. They caught the last one.
That's true.
They had the other 72. They caught the last one.
Yep. That one was tough to get. Sucker.
He was almost, how would you say it? Legendary?
Hey!
Oh.
So what's your big spoiler?
I don't have any.
No?
I was stuck on the whole Scotty thing.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, he was my favorite.
You know,
He didn't die.
That was good.
I don't know about you guys, but I didn't actually feel like there was much to really spoil in the movie.
No.
Like, the, holy crap, I wish I could remember his freaking name.
Who are you trying
Marcus?
No, the guy who Khan was before they said he was Khan.
to... It was James something.
No,
James
James Kirk.
Rowland.
That's Kirk's first name.
No! Oh my god, I'm
Orburn?
looking this fucking up.
Warburn?
Horburn.
Warburn.
Look, I'm seeing...
H, I know it started with an H. Hawthorne, maybe?
No.
I'm gonna look this
I don't
up.
think
thought it was
so.
Shut
like
up.
Rossland or something. Roland.
Oh my goodness.
James Roland.
Quick, bring out all the phones. Everyone, quick.
Where's your phone? Oh, it's
Yeah.
charging.
Yeah, my phone's dead, as always.
I have to look this up. I have to.
Harrison.
Harrison?
Is that
John
it?
Harrison?
John Harrison. I just saw Harrison.
Either way, that was the biggest plot twist. Oh, plot twists. Blah.
John Harrison. Commander John Harrison.
There we go.
Okay, so John Harrison turns out to be
On.
Khan,
Dun, dun, dun.
and that's like the biggest spoiler in the entire movie. After that, everything is just like fairly predictable, I find.
Yeah, it kind of was a bit predictable. I was wondering, like, are they going to keep Kirk's death canon? Is that going to be a thing now?
Of
But
course
then
not.
Then I remembered, oh yeah, they were experimenting with bringing something back to life.
Yeah. Kirk doesn't actually die. That's kind of another big one, I guess.
Yeah. Well, Kirk dies is kind of a big one. Almost dies. I guess you kind of expect that happening when he goes into the...
I don't quite understand how that worked. Is like he died, he was dead, he was gone, and then they were just like, "We need his blood." And they just
Yeah, it
How
seemed
did-
like they were
what?
making a big rush over it. To what I understand, his brain was still functioning?
okay, but then he's
I
not
guess-
dead.
I guess...
Well,
Because they had to freeze him to keep his brain active.
they had to keep his brain in a certain state.
I
Because
imagine...
there is a point where, you can't actually bring back the really dead.
Yeah, because
Of course you can.
A lot
You
of
know
people
nothing
have
of
been...
black magic.
Or zombies. A lot of people have been technically dead and brought back. So odds are after death, your brain is still active for a short term.
Okay,
And-
but how long was he like? We went from radiation, and then we went from laying on a table.
For
Movie
all
time
we
Was
know...
that just
5 minutes.
enough amount of
For
time
all
for us
we
to
know,
put him in?
those two rooms are right beside each other.
That is true.
Yeah, because we totally didn't figure out the layout of the
No.
freaking shit.
For all
And
we
they
know-
don't give out a map.
Yeah. For all we know, they literally carried him from there to that table, and that's when they figured out there was no time in between.
Next
at all.
time,
Yep.
rather than 3D glasses for immersion, I want a map of the Enterprise.
Can you imagine having to start your first day there? They're like,
Oh,
"Well,
God.
here's the ship. Find where you have to go." It's like,
Could someone at
is
least
there
have
no
brought his
map?
map? I did it. I got Harry Potter.
The new kid's just there scrolling down a map, just like the guy in charge is like, "No, you can't have a map."
How dare you.
Oh god.
Maybe the like staircases change.
It's like trying to walk around in an open world video game with no map. It's
Silent
terrible.
Hill if you forget to grab the map. But yeah,
Let's
I
not
think-
go there.
I think we're kind of exhausted on things now.
Yep.
There wasn't really much to spoil. It's an action movie with really good sci-fi. They did a good job on the sci-fi.
Yeah.
Especially when the ship was malfunctioning and everything's like tipping and turning, they did a great job on making it look like it's falling.
Yeah, they did a great job with gravity.
I don't know what alien race that was at the beginning of the movie.
They looked
but
like
that
chalk.
looked really cool.
Yeah.
How
Yeah, they
they
put
did
a
like
lot of work into that.
yeah.
On that costume design.
For, like-
oh god.
Seeing as you only saw it for maybe 20 minutes into
I
the
thought
film.
that was going to come in at the end. I thought something like that's the planet they're going to end up at, and they see the ship coming and they help fight or something. I don't know.
Maybe that'll be brought up in the third one because now it's like their idol. They're like, "See this thing? Look for this thing."
I like how they got a really good overview drawing of it.
yeah,
from not seeing
from
the
not
video
seeing
jump.
the top.
They saw like a little bit of the side.
I guess they kind of saw the top as it was rising.
I guess, but
yeah.
still, like, can
That
you
they saw
imagine
underneath.
a race of creatures that worship the Star Trek freaking
Enterprise?
USS Enterprise?
Did anybody see any like female of that that species? Because I just
They're
saw
They
probably
had
males.
children.
They're
Yeah,
probably
there was-
still back in the thing. They're all
Uh-oh.
dead.
So
They're all dead.
dead.
Well, that race
Shit.
ain't lasting long. Well, I guess they all would have died off
I wonder if they put
anyways.
two and two together, that they're out of there, that thing leaves, their thing is destroyed, that they saved them, or I wonder if they like put two and two together, this giant thing just saved their lives.
I think they kind of thought that the giant thing saved their lives, because why else would they worship it?
Well,
Yeah.
because the people that jumped over the cliff, that's where like the spaceship came over, right?
And they-
so he must have been like, these things led us away from the danger.
And they zoomed in on that guy's face, so it must have been
He was like, "Oh my god!"
because they needed to zoom in on everything. Their skin looked flaky.
It looked like chalk. I felt like a chalkboard should be there so I could doodle with their fingertips.
Oh God.
Yeah, I think we're about done. Lindsay's kind of
Quiet.
Lindsay's always
I
quiet.
don't talk much.
Lindsay's like, the movie was good.
I like the movie.
9. Done.
No, it was a
all
good
right.
line.
Well
Knew
then,
you rated 9.
No, you didn't.
Yeah, I did. I totally
I
called
like
it
how
before
you
we started
called
this.
that, though.
well, I guess we'll now sign off. Hope you guys enjoyed this review. Will you guys join us again sometime?
Yes, maybe.
Yes, I will.
Lindsay will sit there in
Will you
silence.
talk more?
I don't know.
If we talk about Pokemon,
I'll never stop talking.
Okay, so your
Okay.
next couple of podcasts, one of them will be Pokemon centered,
Pokemon
and Lindsay will be
X and Y.
back.
in the Pokemon Center.
I want to go to
That
New
would be
York.
awesome.
I need my Pokemon guidebook so I don't
Yeah.
say skull bone or whatever.
Skull.
Oh,
That sounds like a Pokemon. That's better than Marowak,
No, Marowak makes sense. Marrow from a bone.
I guess.
And whack has got a...
God. Well, he has a boomerang.
That's not a boomerang, it's a bonerang.
A boner. I am sorry. I forgot about that pun. We finally got Lindsay to talk. Okay, see you guys next time.
Bye-bye. Bye.